So we're going to look at the deadlift today. We're going to see what went well in this clip. We're going to analyze the teaching points here and how you can do the same. So we're going to let it play through for the first time and then we'll go over it. So to begin with, we want to get our foot position correct. This is different to the clean in the sense that we're going to be slightly closer to the bar. With a clean, we had around here, underneath the bar, the end of our shoelace. For the deadlift, you want to imagine the bow of your shoelace would be under the bar. For a deadlift, it's usually best to go barefoot. For a clean and a squat and everything, you need that elevated heel support, but for a deadlift we're going to be driving through our heels, leaning backwards into them, so having that elevation will actually make it harder. So considering barefoot, or there are deadlift shoes that don't have a thick sole at all, they're also a good option. So looking at our grip here, we have a few options when it comes to gripping for the deadlift. We can do a double overhand, which is both arms over the bar. We can do an over-under grip, which is one hand over, one hand under. Experiment with it. You'll find one way works better than the other. Or, like the clean, we can use a hook grip, which is put your thumb around the bar and wrap your hand around your thumb. So now that we've got our grip, we want to be sitting over the bar to create that nice hinge motion. We don't want our knees to be deviating over the bar much, because then it will stop the bar from moving upwards unless we move the knees out the way, in which case that will cause the bar to deviate away from us, which can lead to an unstable back. So we want to make sure our body is nice and engaged. An important one to remember is the engagement of the lats. If you don't engage your lats, it makes it a lot easier for your body to round over. There's an unstable posterior chain. So how do we engage our lats? We want to be thinking of pits to pockets. So our pits, we're going to try and push towards our pockets as much as possible. This creates a strong back and gets us in a nice stable position ready to lift. So we've got our upper body engaged, now we need to engage the lower body. This can be done by engaging the hamstrings. How do we do that? You feel a nice bit of tension being created down your hamstrings, almost a rumbling sensation, and from there, keeping your arms nice and straight. At this point, it's really important to be making sure we're pushing our pits to our pockets. We're going to be slowly moving our hamstrings and our glutes downwards towards the floor. It's going to keep our hamstrings engaged, and what you'll find is the bar wants to take an upward path. It's going to take the slack out of the bar, and the moment your shins come into contact with the bar, it's go time. We want to be thinking of pushing the floor away from us rather than pulling the bar up. This exerts a lot more force through our feet and our quads and allows us to have a nice strong back throughout the lift. We want to make sure our bar is staying as close to us as possible. To do this, we can lean back slightly. Imagine if the bar were taken away, I would fall back and I would land on the floor. This is done because when the bar begins to get heavier than ourselves, our center of mass is going to be distributed in a slightly different way. We're going to have our weight shifted slightly further out in front of us. So to counteract this, we want to sit back and adjust that weight. So now that we've got everything ready, slack is taken out the bar, hamstrings are engaged, lats are engaged, we're nice and tense, we push through the floor and land in a nice comfortable standing position with the bar. We don't want to overexert it, leaning out this way too much. That's just extra energy and it's a lot harder to get to that point. Why do we need to exert any more force than necessary? So we're up in our standing position now, and unless you're doing a 1 rep max, it is heavily advised to lower it down the same way you lifted it up rather than just dropping it, because then you're getting the benefit of the eccentric and the concentric at the same time, leading to better gains. So when it comes to lowering the bar, it's the same motion. We want to keep the bar nice and close. We're going to lead with our hips, hinging them out slightly. Same with our legs, we're going to bend slightly, allowing the bar to drop down in a nice path. We want it as straight down as possible. We don't want to bend our legs too much and have it roll off us. We don't want to lower our back too much and create a gap between us and the bar. We need both at the same time to create a nice downward path. If you are doing a 1 rep max and you find you just have no effort left to give and you need to drop the bar, the best way to do it is to just drop it from this standing position. Don't allow yourself to hinge over at all. Don't begin to lower it and then drop it, because what could happen is you begin to drop down with the bar, and say you drop it here. The bar could crash down onto your knees, and if the bar is heavy, that's going to hurt. So Just from the standing position, just kind of bump it away from you a little bit and step back and it'll be fine. So we've lowered the bar from our first rep. If we're doing multiple reps, rather than allowing the bounce of the bar to pick it back up, we want to maximize our gains by setting up again and doing the whole process from the beginning. So here we're going to load up the hamstrings once more after letting the bar rest and do the same. Otherwise, it can cause some of the force to be created by the bar bouncing, causing us to be exerting less effort upon the bar, meaning we're doing less work. And why we want that? So for any other reps, you're just following that same pattern. Load the hamstrings, drop down when the shins touch the bar, push the floor away from you. So that's just about everything. Getting our foot position correct, about the bow of our shoelaces under the bar, dropping down to get a nice grip of your choice. Pits to pocket, stabilizing our body, loading our hamstrings, and pushing the floor away when our shins come into contact with the bar. So that just about sums up this video. We're going to continue doing these analysis videos on this channel. However, I would like to introduce a case of people sending in their lifts and I can analyze it, see what went well, see what could possibly be better. So if you, the viewer, have any lifts you would like to see analyzed, you can send them in either on Instagram at channel_fit_, or you can email in at channelfit@outlook.com. Once again, thank you all for watching and I will see you next time.